So if you've ever been to a music festival, you know that there are some things you really should bring with you. And if you don't, it can make your weekend pretty horrible, especially if there's a torrential downpour or if there's not good cell service. So we are here to tell you today some tips and tricks on what to bring to a music festival.
So starting off, we're just going to talk about some general tips and tricks to make the weekend, day, however long you're going for, run a little smoother. You will probably thank us for these in the end when you get there and you're like, oh, thank God that what the band told me to do that. So first of all, lots of the venues are completely cashless now. So a lot of times they'll have the wristband that you already need to get into the venue. It will be linked to your card, so that way all you have to do is just scan your little wristband that you already have, which is super easy.
They'll always send you an email before the festival on how to get that all set up and link your credit card, and if before you get downtown or to the festival where you might not have cell service to do so.
So be sure to check on that before you leave and make sure that everything is all synced up and ready to go. Another thing is that a lot of these festivals are really big. Maybe not like Coachella level unless you're going to Coachella, but a lot of times they are like miles long and sometimes they're hard to navigate. So be sure to check out the festival layout. They usually have it out like months in advance. You can look on their Instagram, you can look on their website. They're probably gonna send you a copy of it. I would recommend taking pictures of this in case you don't have cell service at the festival. So you're not like, oh my God, where do I go? And you can't find like a station that has the layout.
Yeah, and make sure you really pay attention to where the stages are located that you're gonna wanna go to, where the restrooms are. We all know that that is very important. Or where the first aid tent is too, in case you need any of their services.
Speaking of lineups and calendars and schedules and all of that, also be sure to check the lineup schedule before you go so that you can say, okay, this is what time I want to be at this stage, so I'm going to get to this place at this time. A music festival has people playing like at all times from like open to close, but they're usually within like 15-minute increments of like when they start, so a lot of times they overlap. So if your two favorite artists are playing at the same time, sorry, or you might want to go to half of one and half of the other, but be sure you know beforehand which stages they are playing and at what times.
Festivals too, when they are starting earlier in the morning, you know, usually like I feel like 10, 11, noon is when sometimes they start. And some of those artists who play those times will be huge in the next year or two. So it's really a good idea to get there early to check out some new artists who you may not have heard of, who you might become a big fan of. If you are going with friends, one consistent thing you are going to hear from us is you may not have cell service. Because there are tens of thousands of people in this one location, these servers just cannot handle it. And so we recommend, if you're going with a group of people, to choose one meeting spot that you meet at every time. This could be a flagpole, it could be a certain like merch booth, a drink booth, the first aid tent, any of those. Try to find a central location, and if you are planning to split up with your group, make sure you say at 4:30 p.m. we are all meeting here, because you can get lost from your crowd very easily. I've also seen, I think we've all seen those people at festivals who'll have like something weird sticking out of their backpack, or like something noticeable, a hat that everyone can just like see if they're really tall, but being not tall ourselves, meeting spot is usually better. And if you do, or if you're one of the lucky ones who has cell service, make sure beforehand that you all share your locations with each other. So just in case you're lucky and all have cell service, this is a great way to meet up with each other as well. And also make sure your friends who are with you have an emergency contact for you. So festivals, we all know, can get a little crazy, and we want to make sure that everyone is staying safe and that someone knows who to call in case of an emergency. And with planning, make sure that you plan when you're gonna get there, look at when doors open versus when people go on stage, who's the first artist you wanna see, and prepare lots of time for there to be traffic, for there to be lines to get into the festival. If you're really dying to see a certain artist, I would recommend leaving in plenty of time so you're not stressed and worried about missing their set. And another great thing to know is the area of town. So I feel like a lot of us really travel to go see festivals. Yeah. I've been to a few festivals in Atlanta where I grew up, and that was nice because I already kind of knew the area. But if you don't know the area, make sure to study it. Study, if you're in the city, is there public transportation you can take to and from the show? That has always been, for me, the easiest way to get transportation at any type of festival has been the public transportation, whether that's a bus or a train or whatever, because you will have a huge surge price if you try to get an Uber or a Lyft, especially after the show, because now you're leaving with tens of thousands of other people at the exact same time. And so make sure that you plan ahead on how your group plans to get to and from the festival. We also want to make sure that this checklist of items we're about to give to you, that you can actually take them inside. So check the bag policy. They could have a clear bag policy, a certain size. Some places allow backpacks, some don't. So make sure to check the exact website of the festival that you're going to see the individualized details of what and what not you're allowed to bring in.
Speaking of bags, the first thing on our checklist that we recommend, you don't have to do this, but it's probably a good idea, is a hydration pack. So basically it's like a little backpack with a tube and you put water in it, and that way you can drink water without having to take the bag off. So sometimes festivals don't allow outside food or drinks, or it has to be like factory sealed water and you can only have like a certain amount of it or something like that. So this is a good way to make sure you're staying hydrated, because festival season is summer, it's hot. You don't want to pass out and miss all your favorite artists when you paid a bunch of money to go to this festival. So a lot of festivals don't allow backpacks, but they do allow hydration packs if they have like less than 2 pockets or something like that. So just be sure to check on that.
And it's a good one too to check on the website, because with the hydration pack, they might allow you to bring the hydration pack in, but without water in it, and you just have to fill it up at the water station inside the festival.
Another good thing, like I said, it's gonna be summer. If you're like me, you probably burn easily, so suntan lotion is probably the best option. I know everyone hates lotion, but a lot of times festivals might not allow that. Or if you're flying, you can't fly with that. So it's probably just a good idea to have suntan lotion on you for your face and your body, because you're going to be standing in the sun for a lot of hours. And I don't want to get burnt. So also chapstick is probably a good idea.
Oh my gosh, yeah. With SPF.
With SPF.
Yeah.
Your lips can burn.
Especially if you're drinking alcohol during the day.
Oh, yes.
Make sure to stay hydrated and keep those lips with SPF on them.
Yes, because that will not be a good combination. Also, you might want to bring a hat. I mean, that is probably a good idea.
Yeah, or sunglasses, because the sun is most likely going to be in your face most of the day. So if you burn easily, bring a hat. And if not, and you want to just look cool, bring some sunglasses.
Or both.
Yeah,
if you
or both.
Want to go incognito or something. Also, I would recommend bringing light layers, like a little jacket or, like a little sweater that you can pop on easily. If you're going to be there at night, which a lot of festivals run until late in the night, it can get cold depending on where you are. Some might get a little chilly at night, especially if you're on a river or in the desert. Yeah, something like that.
So a flannel or any type of button down, I feel works really well too. And if you are one of those people who gets so burned, I know they make the shirts with the SPF in them, so that doubles up as your SPF and your light layer.
Right. So that might also be a good idea. Also, foldable poncho. You can get packs of them on Amazon for super cheap. Yeah. Not even at a festival, any type of show that you're gonna go to, keep it on you. I know it came in handy when it poured rain in Nashville for Taylor Swift, couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
And there is nothing worse, especially when you're at a festival and you're there for so long. Like, I understand it's fun singing in the rain, all that stuff, but when you are soaking, dripping wet for hours, especially if you're wearing like jeans or anything that doesn't dry and you're just like wet, you just feel so gross for that long.
Yeah, it's not fun. And then you're gonna have to pay like $25 for
a poncho there. Yeah. For the last concert I got, it was like a pack of 20 from Walmart for $10. So
yeah,
do that. Don't buy the $25 poncho at the festival.
Yeah. Even if it's not gonna rain, still bring it. I think this is common sense, but just so that we say it and that you know, please wear shoes that are comfortable and that you have broken in. This is not just like a 2-hour show or an hour and a half show where you're like, oh, I can wear my little boots and just take them off and be fine. Like, most of the time venues are in grass and it's probably gonna be like muddy or like there's like dirt. Like, you don't want to stand in the dirt in socks. Also, you don't want your feet to hurt you, especially if it's like a 3-day long festival and then on the first day you have blisters. Like, that's gonna be miserable and you're not gonna want to go stand for hours and hours every day.
Totally.
So, one, wear comfortable shoes like sneakers.
Yeah.
2, make sure that they're not brand new and that you've broken them in.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think we've all heard some horror stories. I remember it rained a ton at Lollapalooza a few years ago, and I was hearing everyone talk about how their shoes were getting stuck in the mud because it was so muddy. So do not wear flip-flops. Do not wear anything that can like easily come off of your foot. Yeah. Make sure they are like tied tennis shoes or closed. So you don't want people stepping on your toes either. We don't want to lose a toenail.
No. That would not be fun.
No. Also, something you're going to want to bring, especially if you're going to like an EDM or any festival that is known to have a lot of bass in there, bring some earplugs. I know this sounds like a buzzkill, like you're going to a concert, you want to hear everything. I promise you will still be able to hear everything with earplugs in and hopefully not have ear damage, because if you were like us, you go to a lot of shows and it's kind of crazy. Haven't been a lot of studies done about hearing damage with concerts. So we want to protect those ears and make sure that when you're 80 years old, you can still hear, hopefully, maybe a One Direction reunion tour. So save those ears, bring the earplugs. I've also learned that a lot of venues have earplugs for free at the first aid tent. So if you happen to forget these, try to go to the first aid tent and ask them for some. This is even true with, like, I just got some at Nissan Stadium. So check even your stadium, your arena, or the festival first aid booth. They will have them.
You can also get them for like $18 on Amazon, and it comes with like 2 pairs. That's where I got mine. Yeah, it's probably a good practice to wear these at like not just festivals but like shows in general,
especially when you accidentally get placed next to the speaker and you're just like dead and then after your ears are ringing so bad. This will help your ears not ring. So that's awesome. And then another thing we would highly recommend is that you bring a portable charger. So we know festivals last all day and we don't want your phone to die, especially if you're planning to use it with like Apple Pay or meeting up with your friends. You do not want that to happen. So bring a portable charger, bring one of those cords. I love to bring one of the cords that has like the 3 different attachments on it. So no matter whose phone you need a charge, you have a cord to do that. So make sure to bring one and make sure to have it actually charged because there's nothing worse than having a dead portable charger right when you really need one.
They also make solar powered chargers now. They're a little more expensive, but if you're like worried about it dying or not holding the charge all day, you can just like, I guess like hold it in the sun and it'll charge.
Just put it on top of your hat.
So that way it doesn't have to be plugged into a wall to charge.
That's also smart.
I also feel like a lot of festivals now have like charging stations.
Yeah, they do. They're usually so crowded though, and you like might have to wait to get a spot where it's nice to just charge your phone while you're watching the show. But worst case scenario, there should be a charger station somewhere near you at the festival. So we all know that kind of now one of the trendy things is to bring disposable cameras. And so that could be a really fun way to get some photos of you and your friends. of the stage. We all know that lighting can be kind of weird, but the film kind of makes it look cool, a little retro. Highly recommend bring one of those, have your friends use it all weekend, and that's a really fun way to create and store your memories of that weekend. And make sure too to look in the description. We have made a checklist of all of these items so you can print it out, use it while you're packing for your next festival. Let us know what festival too that you're planning to go to, because we want to hear who you're excited to hear at these festivals this year, and also which festivals are you most excited about, or is there one that you love, one that you hate? We want to know about it.
You might see us there too.
Oh yeah, you never know. I definitely, one that I've never been to that I really wanted to go to is Lollapalooza. So that's one I want to go to. I love Shaky Knees in Atlanta. Music Midtown's always been so much fun.
The lineup is so good.
And then of course we're in Nashville, so CMA Fest is coming up.
Bonnaroo.
Yep, Bonnaroo, all the fun things. So here's also a list of all of the festivals that we have researched that are coming up very soon. If you're interested in any of these festivals, make sure to check them out. I'm sure you'll have such a great time listening to all of the wonderful music.
Have fun. Be safe. Bye. See ya.